So hey guys, welcome to my review of Batman and Robin issue number 10. Now before I get on to the review, I would actually like to show you this cover of this issue because I really do like the cover and it looks pretty awesome. So right here, I'm just going to pan out so you can see the whole entire cover. Right here we have Batman and Robin, the title card, and we have basically the issue number. But yeah, we have Damian Wayne right here. You can see right here, that's Damian. There's Tim Drake. There's Jason Todd, and there's Dick Grayson, and there's Batman in the background. Now we have all the Robins here that exist in this universe, because Stephanie Brown was a Robin, but she does not exist in here whatsoever. Hopefully she will show up in a New 52 sooner or later. But right here, there's a title that says War of the Robins, and you can see here Damian Wayne's actually fighting against Tim Drake. Now there is story behind this, and I guess you can say Dick Grayson and Jason Todd are trying to stop them from fighting, and the same goes for Batman. But when it says War of the Robins, does it mean all the Robins are going to fight against each other, or is it just Tim Drake versus Damian Wayne? Well, we'll find out when I tell you about my brief summary of this issue. Now, in the last issue of Batman and Robin, it was basically an issue that tied in with the Court of Owls event. So basically, this issue right now is starting off a whole entire new storyline. It's just not one issue that dealt with, the whole entire Robins fighting with one another. This is actually starting a whole new storyline. So yeah, let's get started. So, in this issue, we open up with these disfigured villains or criminals, and they all hate Batman for one reason. They've been physically scarred by him. Now, we all know Batman can knock you out with a punch, he can break your arm, he can brutally hurt you physically. But these people, oh my god, the way they have been disfigured, there's actually one guy that has a batarang stuck in his head. Like, it's just straight through his head, but he's still alive, but it caused brain damage, so he sort of looks mentally ill. There's actually this other villain that actually got kicked in the face by Batman, but basically his face was, I guess you can say, was sort of melting, so when Batman's boot hit his face, it left an imprint of under his boot, so that's kind of strange and odd. The worst one I've seen right here is actually these three guys, these three criminals, and basically they're combined together. They're all melted together, like their faces are all melted together into one face. And it's kind of strange. I mean, we've seen a lot of strange villains in the Batman universe, but these, oh my god, these are just regular people, and they've been scarred by Batman. And the person leading this whole entire group, his name is called Terminus, and yeah, basically he's gathered all these villains together so they can defeat Batman. And they all hate him because they've all been scarred by him physically. And, especially the guy who's brain damaged. I would say that too, but yeah. And that's how we open up this issue. And the next part of this issue, and throughout this issue, basically what happens is we have a big quarrel between Tim Drake and basically Damian Wayne. It's already established beforehand, in the Batman universe, that Tim Drake and Damian Wayne, the first time they met, they don't like each other. Because Damian, when he first appeared in the Batman comics, he tried to kill Tim Drake in order to take the mantle of Robin. He thought that if he killed Tim Drake, he would be the next Robin, and he would be approved for the next Robin, right? So, yeah, he actually did try to kill Tim Drake. They were fighting in the Batcave, and he almost possibly would have killed Tim Drake if the fight got, worse or went on longer. So yeah, they still don't like each other. They're at each other's throats because they're basically at this kind of painting session where there's an artist painting a portrait of the whole entire Bat family. Because Bruce Wayne thinks that it's time to look back at his family. And since his family basically only has Damian, and Alfred. He wants to include, Dick Grayson and Tim Drake as well, and basically also the dog. But Jason Todd's not in the picture, so that's a sort of downside. That's a really slap across the face for Jason Todd. But yeah, basically they're doing a painting portrait, and yeah, along what they're doing, they're all at each other's throats. Dick Grayson, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne are just at each other's throats about being Robin, and who's the best Robin, and who was the better one, and blah, 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 and stuff like that. And that's what generally happens throughout this issue. And the person who actually started this all is actually Damian Wayne. He wants to prove something to something to all the Robins. And basically he actually gathers them all on a rooftop and threatening all of them, saying that I will defeat you in something you think you are undefeatable. And basically Jason Todd's there as well, and basically Jason Todd knows that he wasn't called for this the family portrait, so he was a bit like, did I just lose my invitation? And stuff like that. So it was a funny moment to have Jason Todd as there, there as well, because this is a serious moment, but Jason Todd sort of breaks the ice at times, which is funny. And yeah, now, Damian, like I said, he threatens all the other, Robins or previous Robins, Jason Todd, Tim Drake, and, even Dick Grayson. When Damian actually worked with Dick Grayson, and they do have a solid relationship, they're okay, because Damian has worked with Dick Grayson when he was with, as Batman. So, yeah, Damian still is going to go up against Dick Grayson without even thinking about their relationship. So, yeah. And then later on, basically, Tim Drake actually goes back to the Batcave to try to tell Batman what's going on. But there to greet him is actually Damian Wayne. And Damian Wayne wants to reveal something to Tim Drake to tell him that you're no different from me. I kill my criminals before. I used to kill criminals. I used to kill villains, And do I regret it? No. That's who I am. That's how I was trained to fight. I was trained to kill. I wasn't trained to, defeat a villain and leave him to rot in a prison cell. I was trained to kill them. I was trained to be an assassin. And then he brings up the whole entire calling event in front of Tim Drake and saying that you have bloodlust. You are like me. There's nothing different. And in the end of this issue, he does want to prove something. Not that he's the better Robin, but I believe that Damian wants to prove something as well to everybody else, that I'm a Robin, and I want you to accept me for who I am, that I'm a Robin and that I'm a Wayne, okay? You can't just think that, okay, you're an assassin, you are not a Robin, you're disgracing the Robin name, and stuff like that. And that's how this issue generally ends, and then we see Terminus, basically, he is going to sort of implement his plan to destroy Batman. And that's how this issue ends. So, yeah, my thoughts on this issue. Though this issue did not have a lot going on, we do see Tim Drake and Damian fight near the end of this issue. But generally speaking, this is heavily dialogue-driven. There's a lot of just talking about being who's the better Robin, which I find is interesting. If they do continue this with Damian Wayne attacking Dick Grayson, not Tick. He's not Tick, he's a Dick. Okay, well that sounded wrong there too. But Dick Grayson and Jason Todd and Tim Drake at the same time, or at different locations or different spots or different times, and defeat them at something they think they're undefeatable at would be interesting. I would like to see that. And yeah, I like how Damian did have to prove something to Bruce, that I'm your son and that I'm Robin now, so please accept me as your son. That's what was the general storyline for the previous Batman Robin comics that have been coming out. Now we have a new story, and I think maybe some people might think it's repetitive, that we're having Damian have to prove himself to Dick Grayson and everybody else now. He's already proved himself sort of to Bruce, but now he has to prove something else to everybody else. And I feel like it's a good thing. I mean, we have a lot of conflict between, Damian. When he was first introduced, like I said, no one really sort of liked him. He was a big douche. He was a big asshole, No one liked him. But I do like Damian now. After a while, Damian did grow on me, and I do like Damian as Robin and as a character as himself. But now that he has to prove himself to all the other Robins, it's interesting. And how he actually twisted Tim Drake's action at the calling event against him was really, really good. I really like how he did that. It was really cynical, and it was just really awesome of Damian to do that. But yeah, I would like to see all the other Robins accept him for who he is. We know Dick Grayson has accepted Damian Wayne for who he is, but Tim Drake, Jason Todd, not so much as yet. Has been seen, because Jason Todd did have a confrontation with Damian and Dick Grayson before in the previous Batman and Robin comics. But yeah, I like how the storyline's going on now. I like how they actually created these villains that hates Batman because they've been physically scarred by him, and that's really interesting, and I like that concept. The storyline is going great for this issue right now. I do generally like this issue. I would highly suggest you pick this issue up for the dialogue, no, for the conversation between Tim Drake and Damian Wayne, or the whole entire conflict between Damian and all the other Robins, and this whole entire new Batman villains that are coming out. They're really interesting, and I want to see the storyline continue. Can't wait to see the fruits of this, storyline. I can't wait to see it bear fruit and, be really amazing and just blow my mind, because I do love the Batman Robin series that's going on right now. The previous issue just blew it out of the ballpark, and I want to see how it does right now with this new storyline. So yeah, generally speaking, great issue, great storytelling, great conflict between the Robins, great villains, and yeah. So I highly suggest you guys pick this issue up, and I would rate this comic a 5 out of 5, or yeah, 5 out of 5. I actually generally did like it. The one minor gripe I did have about this issue was an art. The art doesn't change, but yeah, so there is one part in this issue. I'll show you like the artwork in this issue. It's the same artist, but yeah. So as you can see here, these are all the Batman villains that are going to come in. These are Batman villains that are physically scarred, and you can see right here, he's been jabbed through the brain with the Batarang. And then there's the guy who has a Batman foot imprint in his face. And there's this lady that actually got, it's sort of like that thing with the what is it, the arm bracelet or the arm guard, whatever, that basically shoots the spiky part of it. And it's sort of like the Dark Knight kind of general thing where Batman finally, shot it to the Joker's face near the end of the issue, near the end of the movie. But yeah, we have the Robins here. And you can't really see it, but right here, Tim Drake actually says, that kid is wired way too tight. And then Dick Grayson says, remind you of someone. And then, Jason Todd says, shut up, Nightwing. Yeah, the minor gripe I have with this issue, okay, let me show you guys. Goddamn, I skipped it. But yeah, right here. Now, if you guys can see here, all their eyes are black. Like, what the hell happened to their pupils? They're all black. Black pupils. What does this remind you of? Supernatural? Are they possessed by demons? Are demons sort of putting their conflict at each other? Oh my god, dude. We need to get Dane and Sam to, exorcise them. Get the demons out of Bruce Wayne, Tim Drake, and Damian Wayne, and Dick Grayson. I'm just kidding, but yeah, it's not really true. But there's one more part I really want to show you. Now, this one. This part. Look at Damian sit on Batman's chair in front of the Bat computer. That's Damian Wayne, and look how cynical and diabolical he looks. He looks so awesome. Like, look at him. He looks like a supervillain almost, and he possibly could have been a supervillain, but look at it. It just looks so awesome. He's just like telling Tim Drake in his face, like, yeah, you have bloodlust. You're just like, don't deny it. Evil laugh. Ha 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 ha. Or Man Dark's laugh. Ha 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 ha. Okay, I'm just going stupid right now. But yeah, hopefully you guys liked this review and found it enjoyable and helpful, and I'll talk to you guys later. So, see you guys.